Under what circumstances does hypertension have an impact on a person's life in its entirety, and to what degree does it have such an impact? Reducing your blood pressure is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from a wide variety of health problems. A heart attack, a stroke, renal disease, eye disease, and even cognitive decline are some of the adverse outcomes that can occur as a result of these hazards. If your blood pressure reading is within the range of 130/80ths, lowering it can help you protect yourself against a variety of health problems. If you have a reading that falls within this range, you should consider lowering it. With the objective of urging you to take your high blood pressure seriously and to take action to bring it down, primarily through changes in lifestyle, the new guidelines have been established with the intention of encouraging you to do so. One of the key objectives of the guidelines is to motivate you to act in this manner. The guidelines have been formulated with the intention of providing you with assistance in accomplishing this objective more effectively. It is well documented that changes in lifestyle can lower blood pressure as much as pills can, and sometimes even more, the medical professional pointed out. In some cases, it can even lower blood pressure more than pills can. In some cases, it can even be more effective than pills. In some cases, it can achieve even greater results. In some cases, it can even lower blood pressure more than pills can. Given the current state of affairs, there is a possibility that the procedure of putting those enhancements into action could prove to be exceptionally difficult. There are a lot of women who have gotten out of bed in the morning with the intention of committing to a healthy diet, only to have their intentions derailed by the sight of a plate of cookies on a table at their place of employment or by a meal out with their friends. A number of ladies have experienced this in their lives. A good number of women have had this experience at some point in their life. At some time in their lives, a significant number of women have been exposed to this particular event. An in-depth guide that will accompany you through the process of decreasing your blood pressure by making a few simple alterations to your lifestyle. You do not need to make big changes to the way that you live your life in order to bring about a change in the value of your blood pressure. This is because all that is required is for you to make some adjustments. This is because it is not necessary to make significant adjustments, which is the reason for this behavior. There will be 6 main recommendations for actions that you may do in order to assist you in bringing your blood pressure back into the normal range. These recommendations will be distributed to you. This guidance will be provided to you in the future. In the following post, you are going to be presented with the recommendations that are specified below. In order to bear a little bit extra weight, you should make an effort. According to Fisher, the single most effective method for lowering high blood pressure is reducing the amount of excess weight that a person carries around with them whenever they go about their daily activities. It is generally agreed that this is the single most successful strategy by far. For an individual to experience a change in their appearance, it is not necessary for that individual to lose a considerable amount of weight. Rather, it is sufficient for that individual to perceive a change in their appearance. A reduction in blood pressure can be achieved with as low as 10 pounds of weight loss. This is a potentially significant benefit. The potential for this to be a very significant advantage is worth considering. It is imperative that you also read the labels that are located on the container. In the United States of America, the average person eats up to 3 times the total quantity of salt that is advised for consumption. The recommended amount of salt for persons who have high blood pressure is 1,500 milligrams, mg, per day when they consume salt. According to the recommendations, this is the amount that should be consumed. According to Dr. Fisher, who is the originator of this statistic, the average American consumes a significant deal more than that amount of food. This is the amount that should be consumed in accordance with the recommendations that have been provided. To accomplish the daily maximum sodium consumption of 1,500 milligrams, a little more than 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt is all that is required to achieve this goal. There is no other substance that is necessary besides this one. To provide a greater level of specificity, this is the sole thing that is specifically necessary. A single breakfast sandwich, specifically an Egg McMuffin, is responsible for 50% of the total sodium intake that is associated with the diet. With regard to sodium, this is the quantity that is contained within the sandwich. Given that this is the recommendation that has been made, it is recommended that this sandwich be consumed first thing in the morning whenever possible. When one is looking to discover meals that include a significant amount of salt, it is critically important to study product labels with a great deal of attention to detail. As stated by Dr. Fisher himself, it is very difficult to lower dietary sodium without reading labels, unless you prepare all of your own food. This is the reason why it is exceedingly challenging to find a way to reduce the amount of salt that one consumes. This is due to the fact that it is very difficult to lower sodium without reading labels. When it comes to the foods that the American Heart Association has referred to as the salty six, which are meals that are consumed on a regular basis and have the potential to contain excessive quantities of sodium, it is especially necessary to exercise caution before consuming them. These meals are included in the salty six. This is a list of the meals that are mentioned below. Products such as bread rolls and buns, cold cuts and cured meats, sandwiches, pizza, and soups that are made with chicken and soups are some of the products that can be found on the menu. Other foods include soups and soups that are created with fowl. The menu also includes soups, which can be ordered in addition to this item. Launch yourself to your feet and begin moving around as the third step in the process. To make a difference in your health, you do not need to engage in a considerable amount of physical exercise. All you need to do is focus on your lifestyle choices. Enhancing your general health should be the primary focus of your attention. This does not constitute something that is obligatory. In light of the fact that this is the advice that has been provided to you, you ought to make it a point to set a goal for yourself to spend at least half an hour on 5 days out of the week accomplishing something. There is a piece of advice that Fisher strongly recommends that people take. Make sure you're doing something you love, or it won't stick, Fisher advises individuals. This is the piece of guidance that Fisher offers to persons for their consideration. For some that means dancing, for others, biking or taking brisk walks with a friend. When considered from this perspective, even activities that appear to be of little significance, such as gardening, may in fact be beneficial to you in the long run. Your entire fitness regimen should include a weightlifting routine as one of its components. This should be incorporated into your training plan. With regard to weightlifting, this is the fourth piece of advice. If you want to reduce your weight and maintain your fitness level, you should weightlift. Over the course of their lives, women will eventually face a steady decrease of muscle mass as they gain age. According to Fisher, the majority of women have a propensity to neglect weightlifting as a component of their exercise plan, despite the fact that it is a vital component of their exercise routine. The fact that weightlifting is believed to be a form of resistance training is the reason why this situation has arisen. The reason for this is that lifting weights is a form of exercise that can be completed with a relatively low amount of effort. 5. You should limit the amount of alcohol you consume on a daily basis to no more than 1 pint, and you should only drink it once during the course of the entire day. If you drink an excessive amount of alcohol on a regular basis, there is a possibility that your blood pressure will increase. This is because alcohol causes your blood pressure to rise. In circumstances like these, it is of the utmost importance to consume alcohol in a moderate manner. There are certain individuals who, when they consume an excessive amount of alcohol, have an elevation in their blood pressure. 6. If you want to minimize the amount of tension that you are experiencing, you can try meditating or engaging in activities that include deep breathing many times throughout the day. Alterations in your blood pressure that are just transient can be brought on by the constriction of your blood vessels that takes place as a consequence of stress. This is because the hormones that are generated in response to stress cause your blood vessels to get constricted during the stress response. There is a direct correlation between stress and this phenomenon. Furthermore, stress can act as a catalyst for the formation of risky habits that, over time, put your cardiovascular health at risk. These types of practices can be detrimental to your health. As time goes on, these practices have the potential to become even more hazardous. Because you are participating in these activities, it is highly possible that your cardiovascular health may suffer as a result. Due to the fact that you are participating in these activities, there is a possibility that the health of your cardiovascular system could be undermined. A number of habits, including binge eating, not getting enough sleep, and abusing substances like alcohol and opiates, are included in this category of behaviors. All of the aforementioned behaviors are examples of behaviors that fall under this category. In order to achieve your goal of lowering your blood pressure, it is imperative that you place lowering your blood pressure at the very top of your list of priorities. Only then will you be able to witness a reduction in your blood pressure. One and only one explanation for this is that each and every one of these elements was responsible for causing it.